But let's talk about why Microsoft Dynamics 365 BC. So I'm personally coming from the ERP background ever since I rolled out of my college, right? I was an engineer and then I became a management consultant, and the only work I did, in my career is ERP consulting. So ever since I came out of my college, this is what I've been doing. I happened to start to work with SAP, and then I moved into other solutions like Sage. Um, things were going well, and then I had to force myself getting into Microsoft because Microsoft was doing really well. So, personally, as a career, for me to be in the market, I had to get into Microsoft because Microsoft was doing really well. So the very first answer to the question, why Microsoft, right? Because it's Microsoft. Um, we have a great track record of delivering reliable and robust software, for the last many decades now already. And Microsoft becomes a trusted solution for many people to just go in and then take the solution just out of the box and use it and not worry about any malfunctioning or any um, notifications, to the business because of a software, because, we trust in the word Microsoft, in the company Microsoft. And a lot more people are using, and there's no business, that I've seen that runs without, using Excel sheets, Word documents. A lot more people are now getting into cloud solutions like, OneDrive and SharePoint, which are all Microsoft solutions. It's an ecosystem that Microsoft has built, for any business to run seamlessly. So the name itself, I think, is a great. I think it gives a great trust to people. And me working as a solution architect, I can clearly still see a lot of differences what the other solutions out there are not providing, right? Compared to the other competitors that I've worked with. And I continue to stay in this for more than a decade right now with Microsoft solutions, starting with Nav. And so Nav is the predecessor of the 365 Business Central. And then when the cloud solution came out, and they named this as Business Central. So I've been in the Nav space for more than a decade now, and now all into Business Central implementation. So I think I can personally vouch for this, that this is a great solution. And talking about the cloud solution, this is by far the cloud solution that I've seen, because you have heard of Azure. It's known for consistency on performance and security from a cloud solution perspective, and it comes as a package, with compliances, to any country, to any industry. The cloud solution that Microsoft offers, which is Azure, is the largest cloud infrastructure so far, right? And so naturally, I think Business Central has a great win because of that connection to the greatest cloud infrastructure that we have. So this just then becomes the cloud solution for now, right? Um, and then we also want to talk about specifically about the Business Central. This application, it's a role-based application, meaning you have a you have a business that have a lot of roles or a lot of teams, right? So there's a CEO, there's a CFO, and then you have a senior accountant, you have a purchasing manager, a manufacturing manager. So there are different roles in your business. And and this application makes it very easy for a business like that, because the interface is actually a role-based interface. So, for example, me being an accountant, I can switch my role to be an accountant, and what I see on my system is all about the accounting pieces, right? I can see transactions being posted, I can see reporting of the other cost entries that's being posted from other modules. So it's all catered to the role of an accountant. And if I wear my hat to be a purchasing manager, I can simply switch my role in the systems interface, and in a flash of a system refresh, I can see the entire system changes the dashboard to give me all required information of what a purchasing manager would need. Like looking at the open POs, looking at the POs that are in progress, that have been released, that's coming in receipt today, what's planned for tomorrow, and stuff like that. So your KPI and the entire dashboard view of the system changes by simply switching the role. So in other words, we can say, it actually becomes a custom solution for each of your role in your organization. And it's not it's not a solution that gives the same look and feel for everybody, which actually becomes overwhelming, if you had to go that direction. But Microsoft, I think, made a very clear move that it's a role-based application, which is really great, that I can say compared to the other systems. Um, some other points that I also want to talk about is it's a turnkey solution. Yes, because this has been in the market for more than a decade, more than a couple of decades, I would say. Even talking about also nav, so it comes as a package with turnkey solutions already built in, so you don't have to customize or configure your system, for doing some basic stuff like creating a purchase order or an invoice, or posting a payment. You don't have to spend a lot of time to configure your system, because it's coming pre-built with that configuration. All that you have to do is like turn on some flags based on your company's requirement, which is where people like us come in picture. We talk about the best practices, what is in the market, what is people following out there as best practices, and help you to ensure that the right flags are turned on and the right way of entries are being posted in the system. But we don't have a lot of work that I have to do as a configuration. I think our work comes in as to train you as how the system is going to help you, right? So it actually cuts down a lot of work from a consultant and a configuration standpoint as well. So that then becomes a turnkey solution, right? So you don't have to spend the time and the money to prep your system to meet your requirements. So that brings down the implementation time a lot. And in a couple of months, you're up and running with a system like this, which is offering great solutions. Talking about compliance, it also comes with a package of compliances on various aspects. If you have to talk about financial, yes, the Business Central offers financial compliances, including the GAAP, IFRS. Um, there's a way you can switch between these compliances depending on your requirement. You can do reporting based on these compliances on a financial perspective. So when we talk about taxation, you might be running a business in the US and also in Canada, probably also maybe in a small part in the Europe. Your one solution actually lets you to handle those compliances that are provided in different regions, because it comes out of the box. For example, a business running from the US, and they have to run it in a part of India, they can turn on the VAT and the GST taxation, with a click of a button, because it's already coming in the package with no configuration required. Okay. Other points on compliance is, we can talk about data privacy. There are the data privacy compliances out there, which has been incorporated by Microsoft, with very careful implementation. Again, those are things that you do not see as a user, but it is built in the background. So when it comes to audit, you're fully secured and covered using a system like this. We can talk about also document and record management. So when you're sending documents and receiving documents, the system ensures that it is moving the with the most secured um, platform, and ensures that the data is not misused, by through some hacking or any other malpractices, because the system is very well procured. Again, it's housed in the Microsoft's cloud infrastructure, which is very, very well secured. Also, that comes with the compliances as well. And then I want to talk just a couple of minutes about the Power Platform. So Microsoft offers what we call this Power Platform. It's a bunch of solutions that this Power Platform umbrella provides. And I want to just touch base and probably maybe give you this terminologies out there, which is Power BI. And then there's another one called Power Automate. So these ones are also Microsoft. Again, like I talked about, this is an ecosystem of Microsoft. These are external applications, but yet very powerful in their own needs, that you can quickly integrate with Business Central with really no effort, because again, they are in the Microsoft ecospace. So I wanted to talk about a little bit on Power Automate. Let's talk about Power Automate. Power Automate is something that is getting very famous in the market these days. With this tool, you're able to do some automatic workflows, within and outside your ERP systems, right? I can give you a quick example. Let's say you have a CRM system. Okay, it could be a Microsoft CRM system or maybe something else like a Salesforce or whatever, right? Any CRM system that you might use, and you still like it, but you want your Business Central to be operating very well with that. You can use a tool through Power Automate to send automatic communications between your systems. Okay, for example, let's say your CRM system has a new lead and you're converting that new lead into a customer. Um, you know, you can use this Power Automate functionality, which is actually something that's running in the background, right? So it's a job, or let's call it as a routine that runs the background. And once it's finding a new customer being established in your CRM system, the Power Automate can pull that information automatically into Business Central with really no manual intervention. Okay, that's where the benefit is. Like you don't need to do any manual intervention there. It happens almost seamlessly, completely automatic. So there could be other systems out there that you want to be communicating with the Business Central, and Power Automate can do that, right? Something within the system we can talk about, like, you have a document, like let's say a purchase order, and you want your purchase manager to approve the order before it can be sent out. You can turn on a workflow which can notify the manager when a PO is being created, right? Again, the user need not click a button to send a workflow, I mean, to ask for a request to approve or to notify the manager. The moment you create a purchase order and you release it for the team to see, the notifications can go to the purchase manager, also maybe the controller. So you can define how people can be notified at what instances or conditions, using this Power Automate. So Power Automate, in easy terms, I can say it's a configuration that you can build based on your required conditions, and system can use that conditions as a trigger, and send information out there to communicate, to people or to other systems and stuff like that. Okay. Another real-time experience, that I've been implementing for a lot of customers is about the document management. So, for many years in the ERP systems prior to Business Central, when people create a sales invoice, okay, they have to export that into a document and then they have to email it to the customer manually. But Power Automate can make it much easier, right? The moment you create an invoice and post it, it understands it's been posted, which is it's final, so it automatically sends an email to the customer, right? So so very basic things, but still very powerful, that can ensure that your team is working efficiently, and also not missing on very key aspects like this can be handled with this great solution that's out there through Power Automate, which is very, very easy to integrate with the Business Central system. The other one is the Power BI. That's more of a reporting tool. It's built just for reporting, and it has great features, like you build graphical representations of your transactions almost real time, and again keep your um, uh, key stakeholders well informed through the Power BI platform, because the management team, it's easier for them to see graphical representations of how the business is doing, as opposed to seeing spreadsheets, right? Or Word documents, or a PDF of what is happening in the system. So um, just to make it very precise and concise about the factual information of the system, it can be reported through Power BI, which is an external application to Business Central. But again, it gels very well with Business Central, um, just as an add-on to keep your business very well updated about the reporting aspect of it. Okay. So Power Platform, there's a lot more. We can keep talking for days together, but those are two key areas I want to inject during this webinar. We can talk more in the next webinars as well. The last point, the talking point I want to talk about is the AI solutions before we get into a demo. So AI is the talk of the market right now. What can your system do about AI, right? My system cannot probably do anything about AI. Can Business Central do anything with AI? Yes. So we have heard about, a lot of chatbots. We know the chat GPT out there. There's a lot more AI out there. And can AIs be used in Business Central? Absolutely, yes. Can AIs be helpful in ERP? Absolutely, yes. Because AI is, it's on a very general terminology. It's a culmination of um, predicted information based on what's happening out there that your business do not know yet, right? So, and we're trying to make use of that great information that's out there that the other industries have been going through, which you can utilize in your own business and make your business get to the next stage with that informed reporting. So through the AI platform. So AI, we can talk about just generally, there's a predictive analysis that AI can help you. So we talked about forecasting in the previous slide. Uh, but forecasting really can be done, like I said, through a manual coding. People can come with a logic on how that forecasting should be done. But Business Central goes one level higher. It's not only just manual solutions that we can write in the system, but it can be connected to AI platforms out there because AI is growing, outside of Business Central as well, and we want to keep updated with that AI information. So you can get a predictive analysis with that AI solutions based on historic transactions, that you have recorded in your system and give you reporting and suggestions and on how you can improve your business. For example, it might give you a report saying you might be required to be purchasing these raw materials because this is a season that people are looking to buy this item, and probably you have to be also doing this, right? So things like that, that seems to be very fancy, but they're very powerful, right? That can suggest you to run your business. And you might have heard about chatbots. When you go into a website, there's a chatbot. It's actually not manually done by any person out there. That's how it started, but now it's all chatbots, which is automatic. But how do chatbots help in Business Central, right? Um, because there's thousands of transactions that you're posting in an ERP solution, in an ERP system. And let's say someone from a management team, you want to know what is happening around a particular document, right? A sales invoice. You want to know how did this come? What was the quote number? What was the order number? Who made this entry? Who was the sales representative of this entry? So instead of going into the document and drilling down that information manually, which could be cumbersome, with many ERP solutions, but actually, it's a lot easier in Business Central. Let's start off saying that, right? The navigation is much easier, but you can employ a chat bot within the Business Central solution where you can type in a question. You can say document number SI0014. Who was the user who posted this invoice? And the system will be able to quickly get that information in a split second, right? That you probably might be spending a lot of minutes or maybe even days to know what's happening around this, right? So that's where a chat bot, can be employed within the Business Central application. So you can ask questions about the transactions being posted and stuff like that. AI can also be used for customer insights, very similar to what I was talking about chatbots. You can build some customer insights dashboard that tells you, how many transactions this customer has been doing so far. What was the highest value? Um, uh, what is the you know what is the insight about this customer continuing with us or leaving us? Things like that. Can be provided by the ERP system through the AI solutions. Okay, and I've also seen in one of my implementations, we can employ a fraud reduction system. So I work for a banking implementation where they wanted a fraud reduction solution. Um, and we can employ that AI where, for example, let's say you have been doing an average of a couple of $1,000 with a vendor, and suddenly you see a transaction of $25,000 of transaction that might have just happened just in between, and you might have not had the chance to see that. There could be a fraud that might have happened, things like that. The system can look into the pattern of transactions by a vendor or a customer and see if something is going fishy about a transaction. It can just bring it up, right? So, and there are solutions already built from the AI platforms on what key inputs are being analyzed to give you that trigger or that notification. So it's all about just integrating with your Business Central system. So you get that information as well. So you can quickly catch that and then see what's happening out there. Maybe it's a real transaction, but I think it's worthwhile to have some AI backup to keep you up on the business, right? So that's about the AI solutions. There's a lot more. AI is enormously growing. There's a lot of people out there, some other companies out there bringing AI solutions, including CaptiveX. And with a system like Business Central, it's easy to integrate AI solutions. It could be based on a certain requirement, or it could be simply taking up some great solutions that's already been used by many industries, and try it out to see how it's going to be helpful for your business. Okay, so that's all I wanted to talk about 365 BC. I know it's more about talking for the first webinar, but I don't want to be talking more because this is planned to be more of um, an interactive and a demo-based webinar to show you in the system what we can do. So for today's, because since this is the first webinar, we would like to keep it very high level. We don't want to get into too much into the details of what this module can do versus what not, and stuff like that at this point. So I want to keep it very high level. I'll give you a quick peek of how the Business Central system looks like, um, showing you some um, some appealing features, like for someone who does not know what is this Business Central about, how does it interface look like, how is it going to be easy for your users and stuff like that. I'm basing it off that areas for today's demo for the next about 15 minutes or so. Okay.